What is going on, guys? Today I bring you round 6 of Torneio de Coquegens. This round I got paired up against my teammate from Clube dos Galitos, Nelson Ribao, a 1736 FIDE rated player, so very strong. And this was in the same day. It was a double round. It was in the same day of the last game. And yeah, let's see how this went. So my opponent had the white pieces and he started with e4. I went c6, the Caro-Kann, my favorite, d4, d5, and e5. So we get another advanced Caro-Kann in this tournament. c5, c3, knight c6, and knight f3. So we got exactly the same variation so far that we had in our round 3 of the tournament, which is in the in my videos in this channel. I will leave a card up here or here with that one if you want to check that out. In that game, my opponent played after bishop g4, we played bishop e2. But in this game, my opponent played bishop b5, which is more aggressive, pinning my knight on c6. Here I just played d6, which yeah, it's normal, and my opponent captures on c5. And here I immediately capture on c5 with bishop, and I am completely losing. In just 7 moves, I make a huge blunder that I can already resign the game. Yeah, it's crazy, and this is the first time in this video that I want you guys to pause the video, try to figure out the win for white, figure it out, and write down in the comment section down below. 85% of you guys that watch my videos aren't subscribed. If you enjoyed the videos, I would highly appreciate if you could hit that subscribe button. Let's get back into the video. So yeah, my opponent played queen a4, which is a big mistake. The correct move that wins is bishop c6, bishop takes c6 check, b c6 is forced, and now queen a4 with a double attack on g4 and on c6. And if I try to bail out with bishop takes f3, then comes queen c6 check. If I block with the queen, I lose the rook, so I have to play like king f8, and now I lose the bishop with check. And after something like knight e7, is just up a piece and a pawn and completely winning. My opponent saw the idea but messed up the move order, because now after queen a4 I took on f3, and now he tries to do the same thing but it doesn't work. Why? Because after bishop takes on c6, I can sidestep with the king. If you pay attention, in the other variation here, after b takes on c6, if I just simply play the king f8, he would just I mean, he can even just bring back his bishop and he's completely winning. He just took a piece and came back. But in this case, after queen a4, first of all, it's not check, so I don't have to recapture any piece. I can take first the knight, and when he captures the knight on c6, now I can sidestep, because if he takes my bishop, I take his bishop, which is what happened in the game. And now, if he took on c6, it wouldn't be with check, so I could just defend, for example, like this, rook c8. And okay, I'm down a pawn, but a structure is damaged, and my pieces are more active. And yeah, his queen is misplaced, so I guess I have some compensation. But yeah, these are the details that can make a difference, you know. If you found the correct sequence with bishop takes on c6 check, I would instantly resign. But you know, we saw the idea but didn't see the right execution, and yeah, it is unfortunate. And yeah, just to go back, this is a very important part of the game. Here, after d takes on c5, you know, I was careless, but here I would be completely fine if I just played bishop takes on f3 first, and now when the queen recaptures, I can take on c5, and there's no more problems, and the position is completely fine by me. Actually, I actually enjoy my position a lot. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. You know, like, it's tough. But yeah, we got into this position, and here my opponent plays b4, and now black is completely winning. Oh my god, when I say completely winning, it's like minus 2.5, which should be completely winning. And it's crazy, just in like the space of 11 moves, he was already clearly winning. Now I'm clearly winning, and I also missed the idea in the game. I want you guys to pause the video again and try to figure it out. What is the winning move and / continuation? And write down in the comments, like part 2. You can write like part 2 if you did part 1, which was the first exercise. And yeah, so here in the game I played bishop e7, which is like the most natural, but during the game I actually saw the best move, but I didn't end up playing it, which is queen h4. What a move. The pawn is pinned. I'm threatening to take on f2, and here I saw this move, but I didn't play it because I thought, okay, queen takes on c6, and my rook is hanging, my bishop is hanging, and yeah, I thought that just queen f2, for example, he has king d1, and I have the same problem, bishop hanging, rook hanging, can defend them both. And I also thought that bishop takes on f2 and something like king e2. I thought here I really wasn't that much better, because now I had to play the rook somewhere, and then he would have like rook f1 or something like that. But actually here I'm just completely winning. Judged this possibility, and I ended up playing bishop e7, which is clearly inferior. So the game proceeded with queen takes on c6 by my opponent, and I played rook c8, just an automatic move, attacking his queen. And here I'm down a pawn, but I have some compensation in terms of activity, and also his pawn structure is ruined. Here he plays queen b5, and I play queen c7. Here he played f4, which is apparently it's a mistake, but this position was already very complex and difficult to play for both sides, I think. But here I played rook b8, which is bad. Here the computer just wants me to develop the knight on h6 and you know, put the knight on f5 probably. But yeah, I kind of wanted to win back a pawn. I didn't feel good about being a pawn down, so I played rook b8, and here is sidestep to d3. And here I saw the tactic to win a pawn, which I'm not gonna tell you to pause the video because it's simple. It's, for example, bishop takes on b4, and now if he captures back the bishop, there's queen takes on c1, and it's just completely winning actually, because yeah, I'm just gotta be up a pawn, better position, etc. So I took with the bishop, and after he castled, I just played bishop e7, and the position is equal actually. Bishop a3, which during the game I actually thought it was a good move to sort of develop these pieces fast. Here I played the knight h6, which I thought it was very nice, just developing. He took with the bishop on e7. I took with the king, in order to connect my rooks. And he played knight a3. And here I had to think for a while, because do I just play knight f5, or do I play queen c5 to stop this knight coming here? Yeah, in the game I played knight f5, and my opponent played knight b5, which I thought it was not that big of a deal because I would play queen c5. And here my opponent played knight d4, and this is a very critical point of the game. And here I thought for a while, honestly, because there's an important decision to be made. Do I take the knight? Do I not take the knight? Do I play g6? Do I just develop a rook to c8, for example? And yeah, I played a bad move, probably one of the worst out of all the possibilities, which was knight takes d4. Actually, when I played it, I didn't realize how bad it was. Only after he took with the pawn, which I was expecting, I started looking at my position and wondering, I might be actually way worse in this position, because where do I exactly want to put my queen in? What square do I want to put my queen? Because now, let's imagine I play the simple queen b5, asking, do you want to trade queens? I would be very happy to trade queens. My pawn structure is better, my king is more active. But it's not so simple, because he has queen a3 check. And this is very annoying, because he's not only giving a check to my king, he's also attacking the pawn on e7. So after something like queen b4, there's just queen takes a7 with check, and he's up a pawn again. Let's say rook b7, and yeah, he has like queen a6, and this is very awkward because, you know, he's up a pawn. He might be threatening to just play rook b1 maybe. He's also eyeing the d6 square, so if my queen leaves this diagonal, it's very, very problematic and dangerous. And I didn't really like this, and I was very frustrated. I was like, come on, I was completely lost, and then I came back, and now I'm already way worse. Like, I was very pissed. But here the best move would have been g6, and I considered g6, but I thought that after just knight takes on f5, g takes on f5, and something like queen h3, I thought that this was very uncomfortable, and I didn't really want to play this. Uncomfortable because he always has this annoying check on h4, and he has pressure on h7, and yeah, I didn't really like this. But this is actually completely winning for black, apparently, because I can just play rook h g8, king h1, and queen c4, not even caring about the pawn on h7 being hanging, and because I'm attacking f4, and yeah, not caring about queen h4, just apparently king f8, disconnecting the rooks. But there's still this problem here, and there's pressure here. So yeah, I didn't evaluate this properly, and I thought that knight takes d4 was a more simple way to play, but yeah, there's some problems. And here I ended up deciding on queen a5, which, I mean, kind of protects this pawn. There's no more check here, but the queens are still in the board. And here I think he played rook f c8, which is a decent move. But now looking back at it, I think f5 would have been very scary to deal with, because I'm pretty much forced to take. If I don't take, let's say if I just play rook hc8, he can take here, and after takes, take here on h7, he's completely winning. So I kinda am forced to take here, and yeah, after queen takes on f5, like, this is scary, dude. He puts a rook here, and he pushes like e6. I mean, checks everywhere. My king in like here in the middle of the board. This pawn is isolated and weak. Like, dude, I really didn't want to play this, but to my luck, my opponent played rook fc1, which was easier to deal with, but not so easy, because this position is already very uncomfortable for black. Like, he's putting pressure on h7, and yeah, my queen is here on a5 is so misplaced. My king here on e7, I mean, is active, but I rather have a rook on c8 and the king on g8, you know. It's yeah, I was very like disgusted by my position, to be honest. Here I ended up playing rook bc8 because I had an idea of counterplay, and my opponent kind of fell for that. To be honest, to my luck, my opponent here played rook takes on c8, and after rook takes on c8, he played queen takes on h7, and this is bad for white, because now I have queen d2 and I'm super active. I think here after rook bc8, you should actually just ignore the rooks looking at each other and play something like queen g3. This would be so awkward to meet, because he's not only attacking on g7, he's also threatening to perhaps give us check on h4, and yeah, I don't know why he didn't go for it. Maybe he didn't think this was anything special. This is very uncomfortable, and yeah, the problem with the way that he played after queen takes h7 and queen d2, it takes another pawn, so he's up 2 pawns. But now I have actually a very good way to deal with this. I take on f4, and after rook b1, here I thought for a long while. I already knew what my move was actually going to be, but I thought for a long while, like probably like 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe. Here I knew that I was gonna play rook c1 check, but I was actually calculating what was gonna happen right after that. And I'm gonna show you guys what I was calculating, but just so you guys know, like, I calculated 20 moves, not 20 moves, 20 minutes plus probably an endgame that you'll see. Here my opponent was very shocked when he saw rook c1 check. He definitely wasn't expecting it, and he took my rook and offered me a draw. He offered me a draw in this position. This position is indeed draw by the computer, but there's so much to play. This is actually super interesting position. Here what would happen if he didn't offer me a draw? I would play queen takes on c1 check, and after king g2, I was planning to play queen f4, and I was calculating this very interesting line with queen f6 check, giving up a pawn and trading queens, forcing the trade of queens. And after queen takes on f6, pawn takes on f6, king takes on f6, this endgame. I was calculating this endgame in my mind, just visualizing and seeing who was better, how I was gonna play that endgame, etc. And yeah, I spent a lot of time here actually. I didn't spend any time on rook c1 check. I knew that I was gonna play that, but I was calculating this endgame for a long time, and this is actually a very interesting endgame. Even though the computer says it's a draw, I actually was trying to figure out what side is better here, because it's tricky, right? Okay, I have a better pawn structure. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 pawn islands. I have 2 pawn islands, but he has a passed pawn on h2, and this passed pawn can be used as a distraction for me to waste time. And yeah, this is actually very interesting. I don't know, here for example f4, trying to stop my king from coming to g5. I would probably have to play I don't know, what would I actually play, because this is very, very tough. Let's say I just play king f5. I mean, king g3. Do I start running this pawn? Do I play f6? But then what about, I don't know, like what about a4? Maybe a6, a5 to stop these pawns? And what now? Like, of course he's not gonna play like h4, or is he? Because now I'm kind of running out of moves, right? I can't play e5. If I play king e6, king e4, excuse me, I'm just losing because he queens. And yeah, if I play something like king g6, for example, I don't know, he probably has king g4, but then I might have f5, king g3, king h5, maybe king h3 here, king g6, and maybe, is this a draw? Like, maybe this is a draw. But yeah, very, very interesting endgame. And yeah, I mean, I was very happy when he offered me a draw, because here, I mean, yeah, I'm still down a pawn, right? After queen takes on c1, check, king g2, queen f4. Maybe he can, I don't know. I'm also attacking this pawn. This is very tough position. I was thinking maybe, what if he plays like queen g3, I play queen takes on d4, and he starts running this pawn. You know, it's kind of scary. How am I gonna stop this pawn from just promoting? Yeah, I mean, very interesting position. I was kind of like shocked that he offered me a draw, because there was actually a lot of interesting play. But yeah, he was kind of worried that the position was double-edged, and it was double-edged. But yeah, I actually escaped with a draw, guys. Also, I want to ask you if you prefer these pieces or the other ones that I been using for the other episodes. I bet, but what a game. Like, completely losing, completely winning, then just equal, then losing, then oh my god, what is going on? Actually, super interesting game here. And yeah, GG to my opponent. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.